So then we are back with the more understandings from the time of the Second Tabernacle Services, where we find the Aramaic English translation of the word. This translation comes from the original manuscripts of the prophets of the Israelic lineage. So then we can understand the time of the end. As per Yeshayahu the prophet, we find layers of understanding of the spring feast, the autumn feast, and also the returning of the cities of the Mashiach laid waste from many centuries. As we read it in Yeshayahu the prophet, it's always important reading sections of Galah in Daniel, because Yeshayahu in chapter 65th and 66th shows sections of the time of the restoration period in the autumn feast. And these sections are truly related with the time of the autumn feast, but truly there are the steps of formation of trade, tabernacling, and military. So not only this, there are many great news coming from many parts of the world. And when Daniel the prophet, he wrote these instructions, mostly related with the understanding of the divine and the future Gentile nations, he of course used Babylon as the main power of the time. So when we are dealing then with sections of the understanding of these holy instructions and then relating them with the autumn feast, the divine has in his holy instructions showed many ways of explaining these through his prophets. So when Daniel chapter 11 explains the kingdom of the east, he's explaining a section of the geographical area of the world that's going to dominate the market of the world. As Daniel explains sections of Babylon being the main power of trade and exchanges in languages and culture, then from these models, when he's explaining the time of the restoration period, he's explaining of a particular kingdom that's going to be dominant regarding a specific purpose. So then, trade. From the time of Daniel until today, the understanding of a place and the relation with the trade, and then the control of trade coming from a single source. So then, China is obviously uniting the Asian countries, and today came out very important information that the Soviet Union is making a deal with Japan, and from far away uniting then the cause, the socialist cause, and the nearing of the Japan country and China. There were many aspects earlier regarding then the Japanese invasion of China in the 30s. So, for the sake of proximity, then the Soviet Union was able to join up with the Japanese in making deals. So then, a section of the Holy Instruction as far as the lining up of the kingdom of the East. Not China per se speaking, but trade-wise, system-wide, we understand that China leads then the market via online, so as on land, sea, and air. So trade-wise, the nations that were so far apart because of wars, they are being brought to an understanding, thus then uniting the kingdom of the East. Now the kingdom of the East obviously mostly relates with China because it's the most powerful of the region. Now not only this, then there is the understanding of East. So then later on became very evident that the land of the Chaldeans, for instance, Ur of the Chaldeans, but if you do a research, you find that Ur was never owned by the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans came far after. But because of the powerful influence of Babylon and the Chaldeans, then when they had taken control of the region, then they changed many aspects of history. So these aspects also shows in the Greco country much later, when the Greco-Romans translated the scripture on their own way, and then they came as far as changing the armor of Goliath. So there is literary activity because of the great, huge influence of these nations, and the kingdom of the East plays also a very important role regarding the region and the main kingdom directing the trade of the East. So truly this understanding is consistent. So then, today came up in a very important and reliable British newspaper that the Kingdom of the North in Japan, they are making deals, and there are 30 of them that were obviously lined up previously, and because of situations by the time of the end of the Second World War, they were unable to get these resolved. So then Daniel is explaining then from his position and his viewpoint that the power of the kingdom of the East truly is making itself even further evident during this time of the market of the end. So then, these ministers, they are dealing with oil and gas, field development, and also some urban improvement. So it's already showing section of the trade being involved with government. Later on, there won't be involvement of government in trade without the transporters, the freighters, because of taxes. For instance, there are a lot of people in this country, they are not paying taxes. A lot of people, they are obviously in this country in a not legal way. A lot of people, they don't have documents. They are working against the law. They are not paying their taxes. And that's what causes a lot of trouble because they are not paying their fair share. So then when people are caught in a non-legal status, it directly reflects the incompetence of the country. So obviously this country was founded in principles that every person should have the ability of having liberty of doing what they must, but the importance of paying taxes is above the liberty given to the citizens of this country. They can only use their liberties if they pay their dues. These were the principles found in this country. But a lot of people today not paying any taxes. They only take from the system and they give no money back to the system. So it's truly unfair regarding those people that are legals, they are paying taxes, and they are doing their dues, whereas the others simply they are not paying any taxes. So then this situation reflects in our government. It truly is an incompetence of normalizing the situation. In other words, making sure people are properly paying their taxes so then the system doesn't get ruined. So then, the Kingdom of the East is showing its great power, and the nations of the Pacific and the nations of the East are then obviously lining up for the time of the end, trade-wise speaking. Now there is the other layer, tabernacling. That's another section extremely important, because later on the European Union must play a vital role regarding then the spiritual refurbishment of the region. So then, Europe. Daniel explains a portion from where the main spirit of the seed comes from. So then, since the church is helping build the third temple, it is vital also understanding why they are helping then the third temple, why they are helping with the construction of the third temple. So the belief is at this point in time mixed. You find those who are from the lineage of Constantine helping build the third temple, though themselves they don't believe in the third temple. So it shows sections of the faith that later on is going to be refurbished. As far as the military, Daniel states, then the kingdom of the north shall come later with much equipment, and then the kingdom of the east then marching from there towards the holy city. And there is a great deal of conversations of nuclear power. So Turkey is involved with the preparation for the construction of a new power plant. Now amazingly, the Japanese in the Northern Kingdom, they are dealing with also nuclear reactor at some level. And it's already showing the importance of maintaining a secure path of nuclear coverage for later on than the armies of the East. So then much later we're going to explain what the Hamashiach ben Yosef said in Metchayahu, the 24th chapter. But at this point in time, the East is being worked on. Those nations who were then far apart from each other are truly coming under the system of China. In Daniel's description of the time of the restoration truly is exactly what he said. So we're going to evaluate these more next time. Please stay tuned, much more coming up later.